Oh, Melly. Melly is what some of my friends call me, and it's kind of the vibe for July, right? How was your June? Did you feel like after the fire horse had been galloping, galloping, galloping along, you did get a bit of an energetic break? I felt that way energetically. However, in my body, not so much because I'm here in Europe and the heat wave was awful. It was really, really brutal. We, of course, don't have air conditioning, but we made it out. We made it through. And now we're on our way to July, which the theme is giddy up, right? But not like giddy up, you're about to be on a horse going fast kind of way. Giddy up and like you're about to be on a mechanical bull. You're going to be tossed this way and that way. Hold on. But it's going to be okay because we are always asking ourselves, how good could this be for me? Also, I will be going through the astrology so you kind of understand like what is going on. And then, of course, we'll do a tarot spread to help us navigate the energy of this month. And hi, I'm Mel, aka Pocket Mystic, Melly to her friends. And I'm on a mission to make mysticism more accessible through astrological updates, tarot readings, and guided meditations that fit seamlessly into your schedule. So I'm going to start first with like a summary of the astrology of the tarot spread that I do. So if you're short on time, because who isn't? I know I feel like I am always lately. Then you can get the gist of it. And then I'll go through the details of astrology and the details of the tarot spread. So if you want to deep dive more, you are welcome to spend that time with me. So the big headline this month is something called the Berbault Basket, named after a famous French astrologer who did predict the pandemic as well as the Berlin Wall falling. He's been talking about this for decades. Anyways, we have Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, and Pluto all aligning at 4 degrees in their respective signs at the same time. So this is a rare event. And that's why you're probably going to be hearing so much about it. And it's like genuinely rare, right? So what it means in plain terms is that these outer planets, the one that shape entire eras, are all talking to each other at once. Now, of course, Jupiter has a faster orbit, but anyways, they're all talking to each other at once. So whatever shifts this month, it's not small. It's the kind of change that we'll look back on and recognize as a turning point, even if the change isn't immediate, right? It could be the seeds that are planting. And when we go, a few years from now, we see how that was a pivotal moment in the change, even if we couldn't see the actual change yet. The first theme, we have 4 themes that I'll talk about. So the first theme of the month is connection and presence. With all of this cosmic noise, the gift of the month is actually about coming back to what already matters. Your relationships, your slow mornings or your slow nights, or wherever you get a moment of slowness, the small joys, maybe your first sip of coffee or matcha or chai in the morning, savoring it, taking a moment to enjoy it, being with your pets. The basket isn't asking us to reach for more. It's actually asking us to notice what's already there. And I really think if you don't already have some sort of grounding practices or somatic techniques, this is a good month to get them. Because the interesting thing about those somatic techniques is they call you into the present moment, of course, but they also pull you out of the story of your mind so that you can actually experience what's happening to you now. Now, the second theme is change, and more specifically, how we feel about change. Because change is coming, whether we're ready or not. This whole year has been about change, right? And Mercury is retrograde in Cancer right now, so that's a beautiful invitation to get really honest with ourselves. Are we resourced? Are we grounded, like I just talked about? Are we excited, or are we holding something back out of fear? It's a good time to be journaling. Like, what are you noticing? What are you feeling in your body? Are you afraid? What are you really afraid of? What's the worst case that could happen? The third theme is our power. Neptune is going retrograde this month, and it is lifting a veil, specifically on the stories we've been telling ourselves about who we are and what we're capable of. So the illusion that is dissolving is the one that told you to play small. That's leaving. Goodbye, out the door. Don't want to see you again. And what's underneath it is someone who knows their worth. Doesn't that sound nice? And the fourth is foundations. Saturn is going retrograde towards the end of the month, and he is asking us a very direct question. What did you try to build too fast? Where did you take action but skip the inner work? It's not about punishment. It's not about making you do rework. He's here to make sure that you're building what actually lasts and that you're addressing any foundations in your subconscious that are holding you back from doing so. So it is a month to slow down and get honest about what's running underneath your ambitions. It's a great month to breathe. Breathe. We're going to have some things happening with Mars. We have Mercury in retrograde. Just take a minute. I would advise you to, if you feel like you feel a little fight brewing in you at any point during the month, just say to yourself, is this something I actually want to spend my energy towards? Okay. We do have the full moon on July 29th, which is wild. I'll probably do a whole separate video on that one. And it's asking us to let go of outsourcing our sense of security and worth to external structures, to stop letting someone else define what success looks like. True security this month is an inside job. So that's about those foundations, right? Where do we find security? Where do we find our worth? So this month is about presence. It's about change. It's about power. It's about foundations. And it's about releasing old ideas of security, of self, of your power. That's July. And it's a lot, but it has the opportunity to be very good. Again, we need to breathe through it though. So now I'm going to get into the deep dive of the astrology, and then I'll have the tarot spread to help guide you during this time. Normally I like to do a setting the scene of how we're starting the month out, where everyone is, but there's so much going on in July. The only two things I want to mention are that we do have Mercury in retrograde in Cancer, and Jupiter has just moved into big, bold Leo out of Cancer. So Mercury in retrograde is rarely anyone's favorite, right? We need to double check our emails, our bookings, prepare for confusion. But with it going back through Cancer, even though Mercury doesn't love being in Cancer, because Mercury wants to think quickly and communicate, and Cancer wants us to feel deeply, this is a really good time to actually look at how Jupiter expanded this part of your life. What about this area of your life has changed, and how do you feel about it? And then, so sort of a flashpoint of the month, hold on to your knickers, as I say, is when we have Mars going conjunct with Uranus in Gemini on July 3rd or the 4th, depending on where you are. This is Uranus, the planet of upheaval and innovation and massive change and electricity and sometimes war, right? Getting a kiss from Mars, the planet of aggression and action. So we're going to get a glimpse of what Uranus really wants to do on this rotation in Gemini, because it's pretty freshly in there, right? And it's in the early degrees. Now, this is also the United States Mars-Uranus return, so it's likely to be impactful in the US specifically. Should we be scared? I don't think so. I think we should keep asking, how good could this be for me, for us as a collective? Maybe it's a bit startling what happens, but it's movement, it's change, it's ideally progression towards a better world. So check where Gemini is in your chart, because you're likely to feel a lot of electricity here. And if you're not sure, you can drop your rising sign in the comments and I will let you know. Then July 6th, we have the Sun squaring Saturn. So you might get a little bit of an ego hit on this day. You might feel some rejection or kind of just like losing steam on what you've been building or on how you feel about yourself, but that's okay. It's a short little transit, okay? July 7th, we have Neptune going retrograde. Now, I don't normally highlight the outer planets going retrograde because they retrograde a lot, or they're in retrograde a lot of the times, I should say. But we know Neptune entering into Aries was quite a bang, right? We felt that one. So Neptune is the planet of illusion and dreams and dissolution, and it's in Aries, which is all about our personal agency. So it's going into retrograde, and it's kind of giving us an opportunity to relook at what it's been doing for us individually and as a collective. Ultimately, Neptune is about the collective, although obviously it impacts us as individuals because we are a part of the collective. And it could feel like going back, like, wait, I thought we put this to bed. But it also might just be a moment of reflection of like, ooh, these last like 4 or 5 months, I don't think this is who I want to be. I don't think this is who we want to be. And then July 9th, we have Venus, the planet of love and the arts and our values and our pleasure, is moving out of bold Leo into meticulous Virgo. So Venus is technically in her detriment here, but I don't think it's going to be a bad thing necessarily, because it's going to have us getting practical. We are making plans. We are getting organized around what we value and how we're going to put our energy there and not other places. We are going to need to nurture ourselves during this time. So it's going to be good because it's going to help to give us that sort of organized, meticulous boost to do that. And maybe it won't feel so lovey-dovey, but it's organized. It's present. It's us in the driver's seat about our values. And be careful about letting perfectionism keep you stuck with this transit. Then July 13th, we have a Mercury cazimi and a Venus-Uranus square. So with the Mercury cazimi, that means Mercury is like right in the seat of the sun. So we'll probably get some big epiphany about what Mercury retrograde in Cancer is helping us to see or reflect on. And then with the Venus-Uranus square, we might have some sort of like big epiphany about what we like, what we're attracted to, what we value, either in like, I like it or I no longer like it kind of way. It's going to be like Uranus is lightning, right? It's going to kind of be like, what? Wait, I don't like this anymore. Or, ooh, I really love this thing, or this person or whoever. So it probably will feel very clarifying, but you're going to be like, ooh, wait, what? Ooh, where'd that come from? Then July 14th, sorry, giddy up, right? We're still going. We're not even halfway through the month. July 14th, we have a new moon in Cancer. We love it. We're focused on what we want to nurture, what we want to keep giving tender care to, or to plant diligently and attend to in our lives. And I'll do a separate video on that one. So let's talk about where it's getting interesting. The thing you're probably hearing the most about, it's called the basket. It's called the Berbault Basket. I'm probably not saying that correctly. Some are calling it the cradle. Some are calling it the bowl. You're going to be hearing it a lot. It's a rare occurrence, as I said at the beginning. It is super rare, and that's why everyone is watching it. It's this like really unique alignment of these planets. So it's Uranus in Gemini, Neptune in Aries, Jupiter in Leo, and Pluto in Aquarius. So it's fire, fire, water, water. And they're all interacting in their respective signs at 4 degrees, which is, it's still the beginning where you don't totally know what's going on, but it's past the first 3 degrees. So you're starting to get a hint. So it's really interesting what it's doing. Now, because I want this to be accessible, I'm not going to like go into the points and the star and the this and that. I want to keep it where you can understand and you're not bored, hopefully, regardless of how deep you understand astrology and sextiles and la la la. So here's what I want you to know. July 15th is kind of when we start. So we have Uranus sextiling Neptune. This is kind of like they're rah-rah cheering each other on. So Uranus is in Gemini, which is upheaval, revolution, change, innovation, and specifically Gemini, which rules technology and transport and the conversations that we have. And then we have Neptune in Aries, making us look at what we dream for ourselves in terms of our agency and sense of self and selfhood in the collective. And also look at the stories we're telling ourselves about all of those things, about who we are, about the agency that we do or don't have. And I'll be really curious to see how these two boosting each other plays out. Like, will we get a technology that gives us more sense of agency? Maybe technology around our health, feeling like we can be in control of our health? Will we finally be able to transport ourselves, like teleport? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So then July 20th, we have Jupiter trining Neptune. So this is like these two planets supercharging and expanding each other. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of luck, of good fortune, and trines have a Jupiter quality to them. So Jupiter has just moved into Leo, expanding our sense of self and how we shine. And Neptune, as we've said, is in Aries, also expanding visions of self and our agency. So this is going to be like a good boost day for you personally. Where do Leo and Aries fall in your chart? Expect to see some expansion there. So like for me, I'm a Cancer rising. So Leo is my second house of money and assets. And Aries is my 10th house of career. So you know I'm hoping for a big boost in my career that leads to money, honey, right? Okay, maybe my novel will become a bestseller. Anyway, you want to know about you. So if you don't know where they fall in your chart, just drop your rising sign and I can tell you. Now, also on the 20th, though, we have Jupiter opposing Pluto. I just gag you up about what a lucky day the 20th, but I still think it is. So yes, oppositions are like tension points a bit, but astrology is never happening in a vacuum. With this opposition, I'm trying to talk fast because it's a lot of material, but I need to slow down. I see it like Jupiter is almost going to be expanding what Pluto is doing here in Aquarius. And Pluto is kind of like creating this portal. Like Pluto, you know, they say rules the underworld, but it also rules birth. It's like this portal of when we're not in the material world. And it's also like what's underground, what's unseen. So it's in Aquarius giving this opportunity for beginnings and endings as it relates to the collective. The Aquarius is all about the collective. So we might feel this kind of like push-pull between what we want for ourselves and what we need to surrender for the good of all. But the rodeo keeps on going. I told you it's a month. So on the 21st, we have Jupiter sextiling Uranus. So Jupiter is going to start expanding the work of upheaval and innovation that Uranus is trying to accomplish in Gemini. And Uranus is giving this kind of electric shock to our sense of self and how we want to be seen. So that's the basket. You see how they're all like interacting with each other? Well, we still have another one on July 25th, but they're all kind of like working together to create something really interesting that we won't necessarily understand even in the moment. So on the 22nd, we have the sun entering Leo. Happy birthday to all my Leos. My mom, my little sister are both Leos. Love you guys. This is the sun's home. This is where he belongs. He is so happy here. He's excited to be here, and he's going to start shining his light on some things. You can think of this like we're starting to walk into the arena of the eclipse season, which will kick off in August. So July 23rd, Mercury goes direct. Woohoo! Now, he's still in Cancer, so we're still revisiting some of our lessons from Cancer season and Jupiter in Cancer. And I often feel like we actually feel it a bit more in this post-retrograde shadow, but maybe we'll get lucky. Then on July 25th, the basket continues. We have Neptune sextiling Pluto. So this day will be really interesting because it's going to kind of illuminate more of the illusions that we are living in about ourselves and about the collective. It's like giving us a chance to dissolve those illusions, to really see under the hood of what's driving the collective power, how it's taking power from us, how we give power to it, how we feel about it. Do we like this? Do we want this to continue? Do we want to shift the power dynamic? Then July 26th, we have Saturn going retrograde in Aries. So whatever you've been building in this part of your chart, it's going to be time to go back over it. Like, hopefully you don't have to completely deconstruct it and start again, but you might. And, you know, it's a time of looking at what's working, what needs to be relooked at, and what did you try to build too fast that needs a more solid foundation. You might feel a bit frustrated and disappointed, but remember, it's about building things that that last and that are aligned to you. It's about avoiding a tower moment, right? So better to do it now than wait until you built the whole tower and you have to do it all over again. So we also have the North Node entering Aquarius, and we'll talk about this more as we get into eclipse season. But North Node is what we're moving to or growing into, and so it will be in the same sign as Pluto now, and it will be opposing the Sun and Jupiter. Very interesting. Okay, but we'll save that for August, right? So then Wednesday, July 29th, we have the Sun conjunct Jupiter, which is like chef's kiss, such a lucky alignment. And also, there's a full moon in Aquarius, which is opposing the Sun and Jupiter and is near to Pluto. And on top of that, we have Venus squaring Mars. What a day, what a wild full moon. It's interesting because it's like the Sun is illuminating what Jupiter will be expanding in your chart through its transit through the rest of, a whole other year in this transit of Leo. And then at the same time, we're going to be focusing on what we want to release in the opposite area. Even while the collective is growing in this area, right, with the North Node there. And then we have this tension between what we love, what we value, and what brings us pleasure, and how we need to act. So I think it's going to be a chaotic day, yes. But I do think it will bring some clarity and hopefully some luck, I can do a video specifically on this if you'd like. Just let me know in the comments below. Okay, there we are. Wild ride, right? There's plenty to say about August, but we won't say that now. Just know that it's also going to be wild. So we need to make sure we are resourcing ourselves. We need to make sure we are taking care of ourselves, drinking our water, getting enough sleep, moving our body, hugging our friends. But let's get into the tarot spread to support you during this time of July. I'm pulling for the collective, but you can pull these for yourself individually. And if you want to drop what you pull for yourself in the comments, I can also interpret that for you. So card 1 is going to be July's gift. What is this rare basket alignment bringing to us? Card 2, what does Mercury in retrograde in Cancer, that's a mouthful, want us to feel? And then card 3, what is the illusion that is lifting, the story that is dissolving? Card 4, what is Saturn asking us to rebuild? And card 5, what is the full moon in Aquarius asking us to let go of? I'm going to go pull the cards. Ooh, I got the chills pulling this. Now, if you've been with me lately, you know that I've been thinking the cards were playing kind of mean jokes on us. But this one is actually like, ooh, so exciting. Okay, so card 1, what is the gift? We got the 2 of Cups. I love this so much for us. The gift is harmony. It's connection. It's feeling deeply seen and understood. It's this beautiful, simple appreciation of the harmonious and joyous things we already have in our lives. Capitalism tells us we always need more. It's never enough, right? More and more and more. Make more money, buy more things, work harder. But the 2 of Cups offers us presence and joy in the things we already have. Our beautiful relationships, our slow mornings, our little whatever we love to sip on. Playing with our pets, sitting in the sun, watching the trees. This basket will help us to reconnect to what truly matters to us and what makes us feel rejuvenated. And kind of step out of that lie of more, right? So card 2, what is Mercury in retrograde asking us to feel? The world. So change is coming. You know it, I know it. Are you ready for it? This Mercury in retrograde lets us get clarity about how we feel about our relationship to change. Do we feel resourced? Do we feel like we have the tools that we need? Are we doing our breath work? Are we doing our grounding? Are we excited for the change? What do you hope the change brings you? Where are you seeing change happen? And where does it feel like it's happening too slowly? Is there any part of the change you feel like you're holding back from fear? This is a great period to journal. Card 3, we have what is the illusion that is lifting? And we got the Empress. You are powerful. You are a creatrix. You have all you need to build the life that you want. So much of the way our society works is to tell us we're not enough and to play small. The Empress is not playing small about anything. She is a maximalist. Look at that crown. Look at that dress. Look at that comfy chair. She sits confidently in her authority. She knows her worth. She knows her power. She does not doubt it for a minute. And she is fertile in all the ways and all the ideas and all the creative projects, right? So it's time to lift the veil on your power. And if you want help with this, you can listen to the Empress embodiment video that I have. Card 4, what is Saturn asking us to rebuild? We got the moon, and this is the one that really just gave me chills because Saturn is asking us to revisit our subconscious programming. He's saying you may have taken action on this new thing that you're bringing into your life, but you haven't confronted the fears and beliefs that are holding you back, that are stopping you from seeing your power, that are stopping you from seeing how powerful you are, that are stopping you from seeing your worth. Saturn does not want us to build from a place of fear or proving ourselves, right? He wants us to build from alignment. So he's asking us to look at where our desires are coming from and where our action is coming from so that what we build is built on a solid foundation of someone who knows their worth and acts accordingly, from someone who creates from desire and not fear. And then card 5, what is the full moon in Aquarius asking us to let go of? We have the King of Pentacles. So, wow. I think this card is asking us to let go of the idea of kings, to let go of the idea of outsourcing our power and our worth to someone else who gets to build the structures that we have to exist and strive in and achieve in. And in the same vein, they're asking us to let go of our idea of what security means to us. What is true security? If we go back to the programming of our subconscious, what has that told us is security? And what of that idea of security has actually brought material stability and abundance? And what has kept us chasing something? So this is going to be really deep, shadow work, but it's going to be great because it's going to help unlock you and help you live in deeper alignment and satisfaction and joy with yourself and as a collective. So that's cool, right? Okay. I'm glad we kept this under 30 minutes. So yes, July, giddy up. I'll be back here. I'll be supporting you. If there's something specific you want me to dive into or you feel like you need more support with, please comment below. I would love to hear from you. I love you. I'm sending you so much just creative power, worth, feelings, all the good things this month, and I'll see you soon.